What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something I get asked about all the time: what to pack for a trip to Africa. Now, first things first, let's get one thing straight. Africa is not a country. I know, it sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised. It's a massive, beautiful, incredibly diverse continent with 54 countries, each with its own vibe, its own culture, its own everything. So packing for a trip to Marrakesh is going to be wildly different from packing for a safari in the Serengeti or a business trip to Lagos. It's like saying you're packing for a trip to North America. Are you going to a beach in Mexico or a blizzard in Canada? Details matter, people. But even with all that diversity, there are some universal truths, some absolute must-haves that will make your journey smoother, safer, and just all around better, no matter which part of this amazing continent you're visiting. Think of this as your foundational packing list, the base layer of your travel cake. You can add the specific frosting and sprinkles depending on whether you're going to Egypt or South Africa, but you need the cake first, right? Otherwise, you're just eating frosting with a spoon, which is also fun, but not what we're aiming for here. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 non-negotiable, you will regret it if you forget it items you need to have in your bag. We're going to cover everything from the paperwork that gets you in to the gear that keeps you comfortable and connected. This isn't just a list, it's a strategy for a successful trip. Trust me on this, getting these things right before you even leave your house is the secret to unlocking an unforgettable African adventure. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the most important thing, the item that, if you forget it, your trip ends before it even begins. I'm talking about your passport and your visas. Now this sounds like Travel 101, I get it. Of course I'll bring my passport, Platini, I'm not an idiot, but listen, it's not just about having it. It's about the condition of your passport. Many African countries are very strict about this. They require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months after your planned departure date. Not from when you land, from when you're supposed to leave. They also often require at least 2 blank pages, sometimes more. Don't be the person who gets turned away at the airport because your passport looks like it went through a washing machine and is full of stamps from your backpacking trip in 2012. Check the expiration date, count your blank pages. Now, seriously, pause the video and go check. Next up is the visa. This is where the Africa is not a country thing really comes into play. Visa requirements are a beautiful, complicated tapestry that varies wildly from nation to nation. For my American friends, you might get a visa on arrival in one country, while the country right next door requires a lengthy application process you needed to start 2 months ago. You have to do your homework here. Go to the embassy website for the specific country or countries you're visiting. Don't trust a blog post from 2018. Policies change. Find the official source and follow the instructions to the letter. Do they need a passport photo with a white background? Don't send one with a beige background because you think it brings out your eyes. This is not the time for creative interpretation. And here's a pro tip. Make multiple copies. Take photos of your passport, your visa, your flight confirmations, everything. And save them to a cloud service like Google Drive or Dropbox. Also, have physical photocopies stashed in different bags. If your main bag with your original documents gets lost or stolen, having those backups can be an absolute lifesaver. It can be the difference between a major diplomatic incident starring you and a manageable problem you can solve with a visit to your embassy. It's the boring part of travel prep, I know, but it's the bedrock of your entire trip. Get your papers in order and the adventure can truly begin. Okay, Chapter 2. Let's talk about staying healthy, because nothing ruins a vacation faster than feeling terrible. We're talking about vaccinations and medications. Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all situation. The health precautions you need for Egypt are different from those for the Democratic Republic of Congo. Your first stop should be a conversation with your doctor or a travel clinic, ideally 4 to 6 weeks before your trip. They will have the most up-to-date information from sources like the CDC or the World Health Organization. They'll tell you which shots are recommended, like yellow fever, which, by the way, is mandatory for entry into many countries if you're coming from a region where it's a risk. You'll get a little yellow card as proof, and you should treat that card like a second passport. Now let's talk about the M-word, malaria. In many parts of sub-Saharan Africa, it's a real risk. It's transmitted by mosquitoes, especially at dusk and dawn. Your doctor will likely prescribe you anti-malarial medication. There are different kinds, and you need to take them exactly as prescribed before, during, and after your trip. Yes, after. Don't get home, feel fine, and decide you're done. That's not how it works. Alongside the pills, your best defense is not getting bitten in the first place. This means packing and using a good insect repellent with DEET. It also means sleeping under a mosquito net if one is provided. Think of it as your personal, bite-proof force field. Beyond the big stuff, you need to pack a personal first aid kit. Don't assume you can just pop into a pharmacy and find exactly what you use at home. Bring your own preferred pain relievers, some antiseptic wipes, Band-Aids, and definitely some anti-diarrhea medication. Let's be real. Your stomach is about to meet a whole new world of delicious food, and sometimes it needs a minute to adjust. It's better to have it and not need it than to desperately need it and not have it. Also, pack any personal prescription medications you need in their original bottles with a copy of your prescription. Being prepared doesn't mean you're paranoid. It means you're smart and you want to spend your trip enjoying the sights, not the inside of a clinic. Let's move on to your wardrobe. What you wear can make or break your comfort level. The key words for most of Africa, for most of the year, are lightweight and breathable. Think fabrics like cotton, linen, or moisture-wicking synthetics. The sun can be intense, so light, loose-fitting clothing not only keeps you cool, but also protects you from the sun's rays. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but long sleeves and long pants are often your best friends. A lightweight long-sleeve shirt can be cooler than a t-shirt because it keeps the sun directly off your skin. Plus, it's an extra layer of defense against those pesky mosquitoes we just talked about. Now, let's talk colors. If you're going on safari, there's a reason everyone looks like they're in a 1990s J. Peterman catalog. Neutral, earthy tones are the way to go. Khaki, beige, olive green. These colors help you blend in with the landscape so you don't startle the animals. Avoid bright colors like red, which can be seen as a threat by some animals. Also, steer clear of black and dark blue, especially in tsetse fly areas, as those flies are attracted to dark, moving objects. And definitely avoid camouflage patterns. In many African countries, wearing camo is associated with the military and is illegal for civilians. You're trying to see the big five not get thrown in a small cell. Remember to think in layers. While days can be scorching hot, evenings and early mornings, especially at higher altitudes or in the desert, can get surprisingly chilly. A fleece jacket or a warm sweater is essential. You'll be grateful for it on that 6 a.m. game drive when the air is crisp and cool. Also, pack a good hat. A wide-brimmed one is best for sun protection, and a pair of sunglasses. And don't forget a swimsuit. Whether it's a hotel pool, a stunning beach in Zanzibar, or a dip in a waterfall, you'll find opportunities to swim. The goal is versatility. Pack smart, not heavy. All right, let's talk about power. In our hyper-connected world, a dead phone or camera can feel like a crisis. To avoid this, you need to understand the electrical situation where you're going. And let me tell you, it's a wild ride. There is no African plug. The continent uses a glorious, confusing mix of plug types. In South Africa, you'll find the big three-pronged Type M. In Kenya and much of East Africa, it's the British Type G. In parts of West Africa, you'll see the European Type C. It's a legacy of colonial history played out in electrical sockets. The solution? Don't buy a single adapter. Buy a universal travel adapter. A good one will have slidable prongs for all the major plug types in one compact unit. But here's the part people always forget. The adapter just changes the shape of the plug. It does change the voltage. Most of North America runs on 110 to 120 volts, while most of Africa, and indeed most of the world, runs on 220 to 240 volts. Now look at your electronics. Most modern gadgets like laptops and phone chargers are dual voltage, meaning they can handle both. It will say something like input 100 to 240 V on the charging brick. If it says that, you're golden. All you need is the plug adapter. However, if you have something that is dual voltage, like maybe a hairdryer or electric razor, and you plug it into a 240-volt socket, congratulations, you've just created a very expensive firework. For those single-voltage devices, you need a voltage converter, which is a heavier, bulkier device that steps the voltage down. Honestly, my advice is to leave those items at home. Most hotels will have a hairdryer you can use. If you absolutely must bring it, make sure you have the right converter. And one final tip. Bring a portable power bank. A fully charged power bank is your best friend on long travel days during power outages, which can be common, or when you're out on a full-day safari with no outlet in sight. It ensures your camera is ready for that perfect lion shot and your phone is ready to navigate you back to your hotel. Don't get left in the dark. Our final chapter is about something you buy, hoping you'll never have to use it: travel insurance. I know, it feels like a waste of money. It's the broccoli of travel planning. Nobody gets excited about it, but it's really, really good for you. Look, things can go wrong. It's just a fact of life and travel. You could get sick, your flight could be canceled, your bags could decide to take a separate vacation to a completely different country. Without insurance, any of these scenarios can turn from a minor inconvenience into a catastrophic, trip-ruining, bank account-draining disaster. Think of it not as an expense, but as an investment in your own peace of mind. When you're looking for a policy, don't just grab the cheapest one. You need to read the fine print. What you need is a comprehensive plan that covers a few key things. First, medical emergencies and, crucially, medical evacuation. If you're in a remote safari camp and have a serious medical issue, you might need to be airlifted to a proper hospital in a major city, or even flown back to your home country. That can cost tens, if not hundreds, of thousands of dollars. Your standard health insurance from home will likely not cover you abroad, so you need a policy that does. Make sure the coverage amount is high enough to handle a worst-case scenario. Beyond medical, look for coverage for trip cancellation and interruption. What if you have a family emergency the day before you're supposed to leave? Trip cancellation coverage can help you recoup the non-refundable costs of your flights and hotels. What if your luggage gets lost? A good policy will give you money to buy essential clothes and toiletries, while the airline searches for your bag. It's about having a safety net. Africa is an incredibly safe and welcoming place to travel, but accidents can happen anywhere in the world. Being prepared with the right travel insurance means you can relax and fully immerse yourself in the experience, knowing that if something does go wrong, you're protected. So there you have it, the 5 absolute essentials for your packing list. Your passport and visas to get you in, your meds and shots to keep you healthy, the right clothes to keep you comfortable, the power adapters to keep you charged, and the insurance to keep you protected. Getting these 5 things sorted before you zip up your suitcase is the single best thing you can do to set yourself up for a smooth, stress-free, and truly epic adventure. It takes the worry out of the equation so you can focus on the magic of the moment, whether that's watching the sun rise over the dunes of the Namib Desert or tasting injera for the first time in Addis Ababa. Of course, this is just the foundation. You'll want to add your camera, your journal, a good book for the long flights, and an open mind, which is maybe the most important thing to pack. But please, do yourself a massive favor and run through this list one more time before you head to the airport. Double-check that passport expiry date. Make sure your prescriptions are in your carry-on. Confirm you have the right adapter. It's that final check that can save you a world of headache later on. Africa is a continent that will capture your heart and change your perspective. It's a place of incredible warmth, breathtaking beauty, and stories that stretch back to the dawn of humanity. I am so excited for you to experience it. Pack smart, travel safe, and be open to everything this incredible continent has to offer. Thank you so much for watching, have the trip of a lifetime, and I'll see you in the next video.